Hi, I'm Patty Ann Brown, and you are in the strategy room. President-elect Donald Trump is back at war with the New York Times, pushing back on the paper's claim that his transition into the White House is not going smoothly. Here to weigh in, Democratic strategist Joe Stingy and Republican strategist Charmaine Yoest. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks, Patty Ann.
So let's take a look at Trump's latest Twitter storm. It started around 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Quote, "The failing at New York Times story is so totally wrong on transition. It is going so smoothly. Also, I have spoken to many foreign leaders. I have received and taken calls from many foreign leaders despite what the failing New York Times said. Russia, UK, China, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and more. I am always available to them. The New York Times is just upset that they looked like fools in their coverage of me." All right, Charmaine, your thoughts?
Well, look, the Democratic Party, after losing this election, is using the media to attack the incoming administration. And frankly, I think it's a really, really disgraceful spectacle to see these made-up stories that they're planting in the media under the guise of anonymous sources and this whisper campaign about the transition. We're only 1 week out from winning the election. And Donald Trump has set about to be methodical and careful and deliberative about putting a new administration in place. And it's really disgraceful the way the media is going after him and kind of continuing the campaign into this next month. This transition is on every bit as much of a fast track as any other administration has been. They're not behind. They're making really good progress. And so I think he is just kind of pushing back with using the megaphone that he has to speak directly to the American people. It's a brave new world. Social media is here to stay, and he's using it.
So yeah, Trump also tweeted that the New York Times is losing subscribers because of its bad coverage. In his words, the Times tweeted back that subscriptions are actually up. Joe, what do you make of all this?
I mean, how easy is it to troll the president-elect on Twitter? Give me a break, guys. He's got bigger fish to fry than the New York Times. The New York Times is a free news outlet. They are allowed to report under the First Amendment whatever they feel is credible. They have to answer to a board of editors. They have to answer to their subscribers, and that is what they are doing. To go after the free media right now and blame this on Democrats is preposterous. The president-elect needs to start focusing on the real enemies of this state, which would be countries like Russia and ISIS, and he's out there attacking the New York Times. I am actually kind of tired of lowering the bar for the president-elect right now. He has got the job. No one's arguing that he is not going to be president. Now he needs to start actually doing the job and being the leader this country needs, and going after newspapers and reporters was fine during the campaign, but it is not what the president should be doing now.
Okay, that is our topic right now, though, which is the kind of war between Trump and the Times. And the Times posted a letter to its readers a few days ago. The publisher and executive editor called the election result unexpected and said, "We aim to rededicate ourselves to reporting honestly, striving to understand and reflect all perspectives." It also said, quote, "We reported on both candidates fairly during the presidential campaign." But interestingly, that last line has now been removed from the online post of the letter. Charmaine, what do you make of that?
Well, you know, Patty Ann, here's why it matters. Here's why it's not just a fight between Donald Trump and the New York Times. So many in the media right now are acting like tabloid journalists. If you look at the headlines, it's almost as if the sky is falling. And why that matters and why Donald Trump is pushing back is that you're hearing a lot of the word of the use fear. And people are feeling unsettled after the election. It was a hard-fought election. This is a time where we need to be seeing more unity. And yes, of course, the New York Times is well within their rights to report things fairly and accurately. But to continue these headlines that are screaming that things are about to fall apart is really beyond the pale. They're using this as a weapon to undermine this incoming administration and to fan the flames of dissent and discord and unrest out there at a time when that's not what we need to be seeing. We need to be coming together as a country. Sure, report fairly, but don't fan the flames of unrest.
But
Well,
come on,
so
the president-elect does not have to respond to every single story that the New York Times put out.
Right, but
there
if
are plenty of other papers in this country that are covering it.
Joe, you're exaggerating.
I want to go back
That's an exaggeration.
I want to go back to how the Times edited out the line where they claimed that they were fair. The Times spokesman responded to that edit, saying, quote, "The letter was drafted with our subscribers in mind, but given how broad the audience for the letter is, we removed the line." So what does that mean?
I can tell you why they removed it.
Because they figured their loyal readers would totally buy the claim that they were fair, but once they realized Trump supporters might see it online, they figured they'd better take it out?
Well, I feel like there's been a lot of intimidation towards the press. I mean, you could just hear Charmaine doing it right now. That they should be bowing to whatever the Donald Trump says himself. No, somewhere Edward R. Murrow is rolling over in his grave. The press should be able to operate freely and report on what they want. The problem is, we've seen this post-election, a lot of press...
Joe, give me a second here.
No, it's Joe. It is Joe's turn. I'm sorry. I'm trying to let you go back and forth.
No,
Joe?
I understand. No, listen, look, I feel, from our perspective, and Charmaine and I disagree because we're both on different sides of the aisle on these issues. I felt the press did not hold Donald Trump accountable enough during the campaign. Now, after the election, there have been two rifts that have occurred within the media right now. There is a rift that appears to be softening their stances against the president-elect, giving him, credit and trying to urge him along. And then there is another group that is trying to hold him accountable, which is exactly what we should be doing as a country. We should be hoping for his success, but never stop holding him accountable. Where would we be without reporters like Edward R. Murrow? Right. These are the people who do real investigative journalism. And if it isn't for the free press, then we end up with just a state-run press.
Charmaine,
and that's not who we are.
You are not describing the reality, Joe, of what's going on out there. You have a president of the United States who is traveling overseas and saying to international audiences that we have a new president-elect who doesn't have the temperament to govern. He is
saying that the president agrees with our alliances.
That kind of thing is outrageous.
Reassuring the world. What are you talking about,
Joe, come on.
Charmaine, he went to NATO countries to say that he agrees with them.
It's Charmaine's turn now. Let's take turns here. Charmaine.
So, should we be surprised at all when the president is using his bully pulpit to take pot shots, really tacky, beneath him kinds of pot shots at the incoming president-elect? Good grief, Petty Ann, they didn't even do the traditional two-couple picture at the White House. That's how petty this outgoing president is being.
That was because
for Donald Trump to
dodged the press pool.
Joe, let me finish.
So
for Donald Trump to wake up in the morning and to shoot off a text to accurately represent his own position, I don't think it's surprising.
So, Charmaine, just for a second here, you're saying the guy who has been dodging the press poll and did it just last night again is not responsible for the press not covering him? This is he has made it a concerted effort.
No, I'm saying that the president of the United States is being petty and taking pot shots at him. And
I'm getting a wrap. I'm getting a wrap, guys.
Did he avoid the press last night, right?
All right.
He did.
Getting a wrap on both of you. Thank you both so much, Joe
and
Charmaine. We will have plenty more of these to talk about it, so stay tuned. And for complete political coverage, stay with FoxNews.com. I'm Patty Ann Brown. Thanks for watching.